Okay. New week, new plan. So, like I said in my last video, I was getting pretty frustrated with things not moving the way I wanted them to move. So, yeah. But I did my check-in with my coach, shared my data, shared my feelings about the data, which is so crucial because avoiding him or just skipping my check-in wouldn't have done me any good, because if he doesn't know what's going on, he can't help me, and that's why I have a coach. So just was totally forthcoming with him, and he kind of just reinforced the idea that, like, I did everything I was supposed to do. I did my steps, I did my workouts, I followed my macros, I was doing everything I was supposed to do, and everyone's bodies just react differently, and that's why we make adjustments to plans. If something's not working, then you adjust. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean that you're failing. It doesn't mean that it's not going to work for you. You just have to adjust your plan accordingly. And I think I know that, but I needed that reinforcement. So yes, coaches need coaches. But anyway, so he adjusted me. We're keeping me still at 13,000 steps. But here, I'm actually going to pull it up. 13,000 steps. He adjusted my calories, my macros, I guess. He doesn't really need to tell me what the calories is, but it adds up to like 1,400 maybe. So I'm staying the same with my protein, 150. That's to prevent muscle loss. The higher your protein will prevent losing that lean muscle as you're in a calorie deficit. But he's dropping my carbs by like 10. So I went down from 130 to 120. And he dropped some of my fat. I went from 40 to 38, which is fine. I don't have an issue cutting out fat. I usually have a hard time reaching fat goals, so no big deal on that. But it's only a minor adjustment. It's only probably about 50, 60 calories, but hopefully it'll make a difference. We're not adjusting any cardio right now. He still doesn't want to be adding any more in and getting me to a high inflammatory level by adding more stress to my body. So he's adjusting the food first. Although I think at this point I would probably prefer to volunteer to do more cardio so I can eat more food, but it's fine. The hunger is not really fine. I'm just sort of dealing with that and not having caffeine at the same time. So, but yes, I'm on day 4 of no caffeine, and I'm pretty sure by 6:30 last night I was ready to go to bed. So there's that. But so this is why I'm really filming this video, is I thought it'd be a good opportunity. I have to go to a work meeting today for lunch. So I have to really control my macros right now. I don't have a lot of calories, and eating out at restaurants is a huge unknown. And first thing I recommend is, if you can pick the restaurant, because you'll know your go-to items there. But if you can't, which in this case I was not able to, go to their website and pull up their menu. And I'm doing this right now with you. So here, I'm on my screen. I don't know if this doesn't even matter. You can't see my screen. But anyway, so I'm on my screen and I have their lunch menu. These are the options. So starters, soups, and salads. There's a cauliflower medley, chicken livers. This is an old people's restaurant, by the way. Fried green tomatoes, hell no. Stuffed mushroom caps, hell no. Who knows what it's stuffed with? Chicken strips, fried, no. Shrimp cocktail, I don't do seafood. Although that wouldn't be the worst idea if I did do seafood. Shrimp cocktail. Onion rings, fried, no. Relish trio, I don't even know what that is. Tossed garden salad, I could, with dressing on the side. Grilled chicken salad, I could, with dressing on the side. Or soup of the day. Soup's just not going to happen. You have no idea what they're putting in the soup. Sandwiches, there's a club sandwich. No. There's probably mayonnaise and God knows what other else on there. Very high fat deli meats, high sodium. No. Deli burger. Could potentially get that if I wasn't at my spot right now and just have it without the bun. But my fats are pretty low, so that's not going to happen. A Reuben, same thing. too much sodium, too much fat. Grilled or fried chicken sandwich, that wouldn't be a terrible idea, and just pull off the bun. And tomato, basil, grilled cheese, no, that's too much fat for what I have going on right now. The next items are fried chicken, no. They do have roasted turkey. I'm not the biggest turkey fan, but roasted turkey wouldn't be horrible. Shrimp, it doesn't say if it's fried or not, but I don't do shrimp, so it doesn't matter. If I did, I would ask if it's fried or grilled or whatever. Lake Erie walleye, I don't do seafood, but it could be an option if it's not fried. Frog legs, no, but they're probably fried, so also no. Tomato, basil, salmon. Salmon actually isn't terrible, but again, right now it's a higher fat fish, so that's not an option. And I don't really do seafood. Yellow lake perch. Again, I don't do seafood, but could be an okay option if it's not fried. A chicken, who eats chicken livers? Why is chicken livers on here twice? You're weird, I'm sorry, you're weird. Probably has a lot of nutrients in it, but I can't. Pork chops, definitely gonna be too high in fat. Grilled chicken bruschetta, maybe? I don't know. I would have to ask the server, like, is it on breading? Like, can it be taken off? If it's just like the tomato stuff on top, great. But if there's a bunch of cheeses in there, no. So that's a maybe. And then it goes into desserts, which are obviously a no, which I don't like dessert anyway. But so my options: cauliflower medley. I'd have to find out what the medley is. Grilled chicken salad, grilled chicken sandwich without the bun, roasted turkey, potentially grilled chicken bruschetta. So that's 5 options that I could either ask for without buns or some sort of substitutions. So I have 5 options. So what I will do is before I go, I will decide between one of those 5 options, or I will say I need to ask a question about this, and if that one doesn't work, then this is my second pick. But I go in with a plan for sure. Now, this doesn't give me any serving sizes or anything like that. Most people, I would just recommend like you use the hand portion method where you're looking for, a palm-sized portion of protein. If you're a female, just one of those. If you're a male, you want to go for 2. Fist size of vegetables and a cupped hand of grains, or not grains, carbs. But since I'm kind of at the end of a cut and every calorie is counting right now, I'm gonna bring my scale and embarrass the people who are with me. And you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna do me, and it's kind of become a joke among us, so it'll be a nice laugh. So I will try to take a picture of what I end up going with and give you an explanation later of why. But that's kind of how I do it. I go in with a plan, and what I've done is I've kept my macros pretty low this morning. I, try to keep them reasonable because I like to reverse engineer, my macros for the day. So like this is a variable that I can't control really well because I don't know what their serving portions are in advance. So I wanted to keep plenty of room in my macros that I can recover from this with my dinner and make some whatever choices I need to make sure I hit my targets for dinner. So that's that. I'll let y'all know how it goes, but that is how I figure out how to eat out while staying to my macro targets religiously. So eating out is a part of life. You don't have to not do it. It just takes some planning and set yourself up for success. If you wait until you're hungry and you're sitting at the table and you're hearing all these wonderful things that everybody else is ordering, you're definitely more likely to make a hangry decision, and we don't want to do that. Make your decision in advance, plan the rest of your day around it, and enjoy yourself. And it's okay to be that person at the restaurant to ask for things on the side or grilled instead of fried, no oils. Like, you get over it. It becomes, like I said, it becomes a joke. And you could just be like, yep, that's me. I'm going to be that person. And I always let the server know, like, hey, I know this is going to be complicated. I'll make sure I take care of you with your tip and take care of them if they did it right. So that's all for now. I'll let you know how. Oh my God, y'all. I cannot even. That was worst food I've had in a very long time. I took a video of it. I decided to go with the roasted turkey because I don't normally eat turkey. I don't like turkey a whole lot, but I was like, oh, we're at a restaurant. I'm sure roasted. They probably have it seasoned really nicely. I'm gonna go for that and try and mix up my protein a little bit because that's always good, different nutrients and stuff like that. So I order a side salad with oil and vinegar on the side, and it's just got, you know, some veggies and stuff in it. I take off the croutons, you know. I got lemon to put in my water, so I splash a little bit of lemon, put some vinegar on, and just like literally a dash of olive oil. Great. Salad was great. I ordered the turkey with just the white meat, and I ordered double vegetables instead of having the mashed potatoes and gravy, obviously. So they bring it out, and it's 2 big fucking spoonfuls of some weird peas with pimentos or something in them, and I was like, I'm not usually a huge fan of peas, but I'll give it a whirl. The turkey was dry as fuck. Like, this is why I don't like turkey. This is why I don't like turkey. I'm sorry, Mom, if you watch this, but like, I thought it was your cooking. I was hoping the restaurant would be better, but good news is it's all fucking turkey. It was so terrible. This is why I hate Thanksgiving food, because I'm like, ew, ugh. So I weighed it. I forgot to bring my travel scales. I just brought my scale from my office. I weigh it. It's 3.17 ounces, and it was actually really funny. The waitress was like, oh, just curious, like, what did it weigh out to? And I told her, and she's like, oh. And I go, what? And I said, did they give me extra? And she was like, no, I don't think they gave you enough. And she literally ended up she's like, it's supposed to be 4 ounces. She brought me extra. It was actually super, super nice. And you could tell that, like, she was awesome. But anyway, by the time she brought out the extra, I was already like, oh my God, how the fuck am I gonna even finish this? So I put some salt and pepper on it. I squeezed some lemon juice over it, and I'm like, try and get it in. And finally, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And she'd already brought the extra. I was like, fuck. So I was like, you know what? I'll just say I'm full, and I'll bring the rest home, and I'll give it to my dog. So I didn't finish eating it, because when you don't have this many calories, not wanting your food that you're eating, no. So I weighed what I had left that I hadn't eaten, and I subtracted it from what I had logged. And I'm going to bring it home for the dog. So then I go to try the peas. I had like 5. And you could tell that they had butter all over them, even though I said no butter. I wanted stuff steamed. And it was just not good. Just not good. So I packed those up, and I figured the dog can play with those too. But it wasn't worth it. It was not worth eating those calories and hating it. So I just took it to go, and we made a joke out of it. And actually the other girl got the turkey too, and she's like, you're not wrong, this is gross. So I felt a little bit more validated, but it was so anyway, it's now 3 o'clock, and I've barely had anything. I have food in my picnic basket though, and some that are pre-measured strawberries and blueberries, so I'm going to chomp on that right quick. I have to make a couple stops, pick my dog up from the groomer, and then when I get home I can have real food that I will eat. But I stuck with my plan, just execution of the tasting wasn't worth it. And it just goes to show you that how you choose to make your healthy food makes such a big difference, because I'm telling you, I cook so much better than that with what I use. That was just bad. And I'm really glad that I didn't force to eat anymore, because gross. Anyway, I hope if you guys are going to a restaurant you have a much better experience, but at least you know what to look for, how to pick out a menu, and stick with a plan. And I just hope that what the dog likes it though. All right, y'all, I'm pretty impressed. So I had a doctor's appointment today to kind of get all the things checked out, get some refills for some shit. My appointment was at 7:30 p.m., right? This bitch is usually in bed at 8:30. So, but they're open in the evenings, which works for all of us bitches who have full-time jobs and kids and all that other stuff. So I appreciate that. So I took the 7:30 appointment and figured I would just have everything ready. I would go home and literally go sleep. So it's about 6:30 and I'm trying to take care of a couple things before I head out. And they call me and they say, hey, we had a cancellation. Can you come earlier at 7? Fuck yeah. So hop in the car, head on over, walk in right at 7 o'clock. Do the usual, here's my insurance card, blah, blah, blah. They gave me some paperwork. I literally sat down to start working on the paperwork and they called me back. Got me in the room, you know, did all the weigh you, blood pressure, blah, 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 blah. And so I finished my paperwork while I'm in there with the MA, and doctor comes right in and just say, okay, so you're here for a checkup, you need refills, you need a mammogram order. And you wanted some labs done. I was like, yeah, I turned 40, you know, blah, 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 blah. So we talk about it, and, you know, I also tell her I'd like to have, like, the female hormones and testosterone tested, and she's sort of like, and I go, well, I'm working on this bodybuilding thing, and I'd really like to get some baselines before, you know, we really dive into, like, a true prep or whatever, just to sort of know what we're dealing with, or if there's something we need to address, then we have time. So she's like, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. Just know that, like, you know, we're ordering this so that you have the information, but we do not do anything with, like, hormone therapy or anything like that. That's cool. I just need to get a baseline, whatever. So we go over all that. She does the orders, checks me over, makes sure I'm not going to die, and sends me over. They have on-site lab. Go over, give a crap ton of vials of blood, and in, out, I literally just left. I don't know if you can see that. I got in the car at 7:27. I've been talking for a minute here. So, yeah, I am out 3 minutes before my appointment was supposed to start originally. That's how you run a motherfucking medical practice. Because if they were overbooking and having people wait and blah, 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 a cancellation wouldn't have mattered. They probably would have been running behind anyway, and maybe would have given them a chance to catch up, and they wouldn't have had to call me in earlier. But they clearly know how to properly schedule appointments. They have everyone working in unison there, and they have the stuff on site, so they can just, yep, you need labs, go get them. It's right there, orders, done, blah, blah, blah. Great. In and out, 27 minutes. So now all I gotta do is just wait for the test results. So all I wanted to say about that was it's pretty fucking exciting. And yes, this means I'm fucking old because I'm excited that I was in and out of a doctor's appointment in half an hour. But bitch, you ever wait for 3 hours for a doctor? You know what I'm talking about. Just saying. Anyway, and I get to eat again when I get home. I had such a shitty lunch because of that restaurant situation that there's so many more calories at the end of the day than normal, so I get to eat again. Yay. It's that. Anyway, trying to be responsible, doing all the things, take care of the medical stuff. Told my husband he's turning 40 in 2 months, and his ass is up next because he never goes to doctors. And when shit goes sideways, it goes sideways fast. So better to have some baselines so you know what your normals are and catch something before it's a problem, potentially. So that's that.
Watch out, construction on road ahead.
Oh, Siri's talking to me. Okay. That was it. Just wanted to do like a shout out to my primary care. They did a great job. If you're in the Northwest Indiana area, they're called Marcotte Medical. They're right over the Illinois border by like St. John area. So cheers to them for running their shit well. Happy Friday, everyone. So I've had quite an interesting day. So I was up this morning getting ready to go to CrossFit. It was like 5 5:30 in the morning or something. And obviously it's dark out. I remembered I needed some pieces of tape because I was hanging up some stuff when I got there for the challenge that I'm running. So I go into our office to get said tape, and I was like, oh, I should probably turn the light on. I'm like, no, I don't want to turn the light on because it'll shine right on into our bedroom on the bed, and Kurt's trying to sleep. So I didn't turn the light on. I go around our desk, except I didn't go all the way around because there's a dog couch at the end of our desk that I didn't take into account. So I smacked my foot against this doggy couch, said some very choice words, but definitely heard an audible pop crack sound. So I was like,
I heard it in the middle of the night.
But I was like, well, maybe it's just like when you crack your knuckles, and I probably bruised it, whatever, walk it off, it's not that bad. So I get in the car, I drive my 5 minutes to CrossFit, and when I try and get out of the car, I was like, this is spicy, it stings. So I would usually walk on the treadmill to get my steps beforehand. So I got on the treadmill going at about 1 and holding onto the handlebar to stabilize me, and I was emailing my coach, and I was like, I may have hurt myself, I don't know, but I'm gonna walk it off. Yeah, so I do some more walking for like 20 minutes. Did not feel good. And our program strength was shoulder press, so I could keep my feet completely still. So I did shoulder press, and then the workout was one I was really looking forward to. It was clean and jerks every 30 seconds for 20 minutes, as much weight as possible. So I would have really been looking forward to that, but there was going to be no cleaning and jerking, no way I could move my feet. So I basically did really lightweight, muscle cleaned and push pressed. So I basically didn't move my feet at all and just kind of shifted my weight to spots where it didn't hurt. And then I walked on the treadmill some more because I'm super smart. Wasn't feeling any better. And I was thinking, I'm like, oh, I just need to flush it out, like get over it, whatever. So anyway, I was like, well, considering it still hurts, and I did hear a sound, like I should probably just get this x-rayed to rule it out so I know what I'm working with and that I'm not hurting myself anymore. Like just make sure it's soft tissue and whatever, do things of tolerance. So I happen to work at a surgery center. We work with orthopedic surgeons, so I call over there and they get me in.
I rolled my ankle at gym today during kickball.
It's broke. The foot be broke. On a stupid doggy couch. So
I wonder who put that there.
my new attire for the next 4 to 6 weeks is, let me show you. Voila. Super classy, my friends.
Be glad it wasn't your neck.
Super classy. So yeah, that's that. So my coach and I are working on another plan. I basically was like asking my doctor, he's like, okay, so, kind of take it easy. I was like, so how many steps do you think I could do? And he's like, what? I was like, well, like, can I just do things to tolerance? And he's like, I mean, yeah, you can walk to tolerance, just wear the boot or whatever. And I was like, okay. And I can still work out, right? And he's just like, well, and I go, well, I can do upper body. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I can do some lower body, like, right? And he was just like, I don't believe you. And he's just like, yeah, I just don't want you doing any compound movements where you might twist that foot because you didn't just have a hairline fracture, like you have a pretty decent break. So, you have to do things with tolerance. And I was like, okay. And I was like, okay, so I'll be done with this boot in like, what, 2-3 weeks? And he's like, 4 to 6. Easy. So.
How are you going to walk at the wedding?
That's everything. I'm supposed to be in a wedding next week in heels.
Me too.
Yeah. that's a different thing I have to figure out. But basically, so my coach and I talked back and forth, and he's like, well, we could reverse you back up, do a diet break now, or we can see how you tolerate things over the next couple days, what you can reasonably do, and like where that leaves you, and adjust some things. You know, you can do the bike, you know, whatever. So he's like, it's really up to like what you want to do. And I was just like, well, I'm not quitting because of this. Like, this is crap. I want to stay with our same plan and our same timeline. I'm not quitting. So I want to go with option 2, where we see what I can reasonably do, or not so reasonably, but what I can tolerate. And we go with that until I'm able to do a little bit more. So he's like, all right, well, let's keep an eye on it. Don't push yourself to where you're hurting yourself more, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I just want to show you guys this. I need to update the girl who broke her foot this morning has 8,340 steps, and it is 4:40 p.m. So I probably shouldn't have done that because it actually kind of hurts now. But I'm supposed to get to 13, and I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, well, if I get on my treadmill, or if I get on my elliptical, my foot can be planted, and I'm not having to shift my weight so much. So I might be able to get extra steps in that way. I'm not a very good patient. Girls got goals. Savannah, say hi.
Hola.
So I just came from the gym. Yes, the day after I broke my foot, I went to the gym. I kind of needed it mentally, but I also wanted to see what I could reasonably get through. So I tried the elliptical, and actually it did not hurt at all. So I did 20 minutes on the elliptical. I think because my foot is fixed and you can sort of redistribute the weight between, you know, your sides and stuff like that. And there was no like pushing off the ball of my foot. That might be my go-to thing here for movement and stuff like that. So I did that. My coach and I agreed like we should just do a deload week this week, which I hate deload weeks, but given the circumstances, it probably makes the most sense. So today was already going to be mostly arms, so I did deloaded arms, which was very hard to hold back, because I think how I am is that when I'm given a challenge or an obstacle or a barrier, I try harder. And so like I wanted to try harder to show this thing that I was winning over it or something like that. But I'm like, no, we agreed to a deload week. You are not going to add more weight. You are not going to do another set. This is just to get a quick pump. So that was mentally hard. But I did get a nice pump. And then the back half of the scheduled workout was like a triple set of dumbbell RDLs, barbell thrusts, barbell bridges, and walking lunges. That was not going to be happening. So I looked around at what machines they had, and they didn't have a lot of machines for lower body, just besides like hamstring curl and leg extension, but they did have the Roman chair that so I grabbed, I held a plate to my chest, and I really focused on trying to do like activate my glute hams, and I did a couple sets of those. Nothing crazy, but just to try to do something on the lower body. And it, again, there was no weight or pressure being put on my foot because you're like leaning, hinged at the hip, leaning over. So that might be a good option as well. So I'm going to report to my coach what I did, how I did it, how it felt. I'm glad I went. I did not do anything that caused pain. I'm
I'm gonna ice, obviously, when I get home, just because from being up and walking around, this I can feel the swelling is starting. So I'm going to ice and elevate and all that. Have some more Advil. Didn't sleep particularly well. Obvious reasons, like having the sheets on my foot just hurt, so that sucked. But yeah, tomorrow's gonna be a rest day, and I'm already like, how am I gonna get my steps in tomorrow? Because I'm not going to the gym. I'm not going to use an elliptical. We're at the lake. I don't have one here, so I might just not hit my steps tomorrow. I don't know. I don't even know if I want to hit them today. But I'm going to do my best. Mostly because, yes, I'm a little bit crazy, but mostly because if I'm not hitting my step goals, we might have to pull more food away. So I'm trying to avoid that. But, you know, yesterday I said we had a new low. Today I have a new low. It finally broke the fucking 140. So it was 139 and some change. And that felt really, really good to see that. Especially after getting kicked in the pants yesterday with this breaking of the foot. So that's encouraging. I'm just going to try and get through this. And I am not giving up. I do not give up. I am hard to keep down. So just have to alter my plans a little bit. And I'm not happy about it, but it's better than being completely sidelined. And I have to remember that. So I'm not on crutches. If I was on crutches, this would really, really suck. A lot worse. So I'm thankful for that. And hopefully I don't do anything that's going to require me to then use crutches. So I'm trying to be super, super careful and not touch it. It is pretty funny though. While I was finishing up, I get a text message from my friend and she's like, Lisa, why the fuck am I getting messages or alerts? Because our Apple Watches are linked. She's like, why the fuck am I getting alerts that you're at the gym on the elliptical? And I was like, So I had to answer to that. But you know what? That's a good friend because she knows that I will do stupid shit. So she's trying to keep me on my game. But I explained to her what the doctor said. She's like, I'm watching you. But I appreciate that. That's a good friend right there. And sometimes I need to be able to bounce off the sides a little bit and put me back where I'm supposed to be. So, all right, that's all for now. I will keep you guys updated on how things are going. But basically, I'm just going to try to, this is Labor Day weekend, so I'm just going to try and enjoy some rest and relaxation and lick my wounds here. All right, I hope you guys have a great weekend.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap up the week here. So, the last part of the video was from Monday. I then did CrossFit on Tuesday. Yes, with a broken foot. There are all kinds of modifications that can be made to every single movement. So they had lunges in there, which there is no way in hell I'm doing lunges and putting all weight on a broken foot. But I did learn that I tried a couple of very, very, very light front squats. And as long as I keep my foot planted, they did not hurt. And I really focuses on driving through the heels, stuff like that. So there were lunges that were programmed, and rather than doing those, I just did front squats from the rack. And I still got in a really good workout. And I felt better that I wasn't missing things. So yesterday I had another strength that was arms, so that was not a problem getting it done. Hardest problem has been reaching my steps, which I have not reached. Closest I've gotten is about 10,000, which I know 10,000 steps on a broken foot. But what I have done, I'm not walking on the treadmill. That is not going well. I don't want to push that, but doing the elliptical, I can keep my foot planted. I can redistribute the weight when I need to, so I'm not flexing on the ball of the foot. And so doing that for about 20 minutes, obviously I don't get anywhere near as many steps because I'm going very slow. I'm not going for heart rate or anything. I'm literally just going through the motions of movement, just like you would if you just walking around outside. So that has helped. But I've definitely noticed that by like the middle of the afternoon, the foot starts getting a little crabby and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to gauge where I can push it enough to not be impacted significantly with my goals, but not so much that I push out my ability to heal. So it's kind of a fine line. But he said I can do things to tolerance, and that's what I'm doing. So I've got a check-in coming up for tomorrow, and we'll see where things are at. I think we were going to evaluate, because I'm doing a deload week this week, which is probably very well timed. We're just going to then evaluate how it's going, what exercises I can reasonably do, and we're just going to redo my my lifting program around that, and probably put way more focus on the upper body for now, which is fine. And use, machines and things like that where I'm not bearing weight on that foot to work on glutes and hamstrings and things of that nature. So, and then when it's better, we can do more of a leg focus and a little bit less on the upper body, and we'll just rebalance. But I probably only have like another week, 2 weeks of this cut. So we're really kind of watching for energy and strength and stuff like that. So obviously this is a deload week. It's hard to tell, but when I get back to like regular lifts next week, assessing like, am I getting sore when I wouldn't normally, am I having trouble with the same weights that I have normally, and that's kind of the clue that the cut needs to kind of come to an end, because we're not going for a show right now. We decided to push out to spring. So when we finish this cut, we're gonna take a diet break, go back to whatever my new maintenance is for my new weight, and work on doing some extra, like recovering obviously from that, and doing some building in areas that I need for the division I'm going to go for, and not diet really again, obviously watching macros and all that, but not dieting for fat loss again until we actually start prep. So, which will be after the holidays. But that's kind of the plan. I had a really rough day mentally yesterday just because my foot was being crabby, and I'm annoyed at wearing this stupid boot already. It's only like 6 days in. And I don't know, I'm just crabby about it. So, but today's another day, and we're working on a plan, and I've been doing literally the best I think that anyone could in these circumstances without putting themselves in a position where they could be compromising their recovery. So, I mean, that's all you can do. You can't be perfect. And this is what I tell my clients all the time. You can't be perfect. You just have to go for consistency. And all I'm doing right now is trying to maintain a certain amount of consistency so I can continue toward my goals. I haven't been hitting my steps, but that's okay. We're looking at trending, and because I'm still getting in a fair amount of activity, I'm still losing, and that's good. Like I'm still, I'm on the lower half of 139. So that's still a pretty good rate of loss. So we're going to keep going with that. If we have to, we'll just take away a little bit more food. And it is what it is. So I don't know, I guess like my PSA for everyone is like, when you have, and I see this all the time, like people be like, oh, I've got a bad back, or oh, I've got bad knees. Well, I've had 3 knee surgeries. I've played that card before. Everyone has an excuse. They could have a condition, they could have an injury, whatever it is. Everyone on this planet could have some excuse to not do something. But if you want to do it, and you want to reach your goals, there's usually a way that you can work around it. I mean, I have a broken foot, and I am still going to be working on my legs. I'm not going to be doing stuff dumb where I am putting pressure and weight on the ball of that foot, but I am finding that I can do certain things at different weights. As long as I'm maintaining my form, I can absolutely use machines that isolate those muscles, and 0 weight is being put on my foot. So when you have a barrier a challenge, whatever you want to call it, that is in the way of getting to your goal, you kind of need to look at how you're approaching that. I mean, if your approach is, oh, well, I guess I can't do it. Okay, how does that get you closer to your goal? Like, how? It doesn't. If anything, it's further. But maybe be like, well, I can't do that. Like, for example, my steps. I can't do 13 right now. It is not a good idea. It would probably set me back. But what can I do? I can get on the elliptical for the same amount of time that I would usually be walking. I'll have less steps, but I'm still staying consistent with time. You know, like, I'm finding other ways to do it. Like, you can find other ways to maybe you have a slower path to your goal, but you can still make progress. And I guess that's like my thing is when people have barriers, that's automatically like oh, I can't. Well, no, like that needs to be to figure out how you can. Like that's where things get real, you know, and be that one that doesn't let the barriers stop you. Be that one that finds a way. And I think you'll be much stronger mentally for it. And I think you'll be really proud of yourself on the other side of it, that you didn't give up. Because giving up is a 100% guarantee you're not going to reach your goal. Versus trying and maybe taking longer to get there. You still get there. So anyway, just remember, like I said, it's not about just your body. If you evolve your body, you evolve your life. A lot of the things that you apply to these physical health goals are things you can apply to anything. And it has to do with mental strength and resilience and finding a way and critical thinking. Like, you can do it. So anyway, that's all for now. Got another week coming up, and I will keep you updated on how things go.